All right, hello again. So this is Business Math, Chapter 1, Gross Income. We're working on Lesson 1.4, which is called Piecework. So in the previous sections, we were learning how to do straight time pay. So, this is my hourly rate. This is the number of hours I worked. We just multiply. Then we worked on overtime rate, which we had to combine. Sometimes, if you work over 8 hours in a day, or if you work on, a holiday or a Saturday or Sunday, you get overtime rate or double time sometimes, right? And then the very last one we worked on was just about time cards. So we went through and we're talking about how to fill out a time card, or how to calculate a cross on a time card. So now we're looking at piecework. So this one's going to be a little bit more about producing a certain number of pieces in order to get paid. Instead of hours, it's how productive you are. So again, make sure you're reading the chapter and the sections so that you know what it's about, definitely. And you've read through the examples; those will help. And then you've also looked at any equations you might need, or any of the formulas that you might need. They do give us a little blurb at the top here, which summarizes the section, and then they give us a formula. It's not always all the formulas. Pay attention to the book. So some jobs pay on a piecework basis. You are paid for each item of work that you produce. So again, productivity on this one. So total pay equals your rate per item times the number you produced. So however many, if you produce, one item and you get $1 for that item, you get $1 for the day. Now that's pretty low. I would hope that it's more than that, but for this one, it's actually pretty darn close to that. So Alva Nunez is a punch press operator for a Drummond Machine Company. She earns $1.10 for every molding she presses. What is her total pay for a week in which she presses 310 molds? So we know how much she gets paid for each mold, and we know how many molds she did. So we just simply take her pay and multiply by the number of molds that she did. So we get, and I'll write it down here on the line because this is where it goes. So she gets $341 for the week, since that's how many she did. So a lot of the time, if it's a very low amount, like $1.10, it means that it's something that you can continue to do. So if she's pressing some kind of mold, it's probably a very repetitive motion that she can get done, and she can do quite a few. Still, 341, it's not horrible, but it's not a huge paycheck either. So it's one of those jobs that it's a little bit repetitive. So you go through and do exactly the same thing on the rest of these. Make sure you're paying attention. Like this very next one kind of gives you a little curveball. It says that I'm going to go with Kaya. I think that's Kaya. Kuroki delivers newspapers for the Baton Rouge News. He is paid 8 cents for every daily paper, Monday through Friday he delivers, and 75 cents for every Sunday paper. What is his pay for the week in which he delivers 574 daily papers and 165 Sunday papers? And they gave us the rates. So we have to do this calculation twice. We have to do one for the daily papers and another one for the Sunday papers, and then add them together. So definitely make sure you're paying attention for all of these pieces. Down here, so she's paid $12 for each bicycle. So we're in a bicycle shop that she assembles during a regular work week. And we're going to assume regular work week means Monday through Friday. They don't really tell you that, but that's the assumption that they want you to make. So she gets paid $12 for each one of these Monday through Friday. She gets $14 if she assembles on a Saturday. So $12 in here, $14 here, and she gets $16 if she does it on a Sunday. So make sure you're paying attention to how they want you to apply these rules, because you're going to have to add the regular work week together and multiply by 12. Then you're just going to multiply the hours or the bikes on Saturday by 14 and the bikes on Sunday by 16, and then add those three pieces together. All right, so if we look at this bottom one here, because that's the one I kind of wanted to focus on for a minute. Sometimes, and if you've watched my other videos, I say the algebra one is not necessarily hard all the time, but it's more involved. They definitely want you to think about what they've taught you here. So Nick Champ manages an auto film outlet that applies window films to automobiles. he reported this week that a total of 23 autos had their film applied. So autos, we don't know what kind of that is. It's just a car, but we don't know which kind. So autofilm charges $894 for a four-door sedan and $599 for a two-door coupe. I think I said that. $899.99 for a four-door sedan and $159.99 for a two-door coupe. If Nick had total receipts for the week of $4,189.77, how many four-door sedans have been serviced? How many two-door coupes? So we need to answer both questions. We need to know four-door sedans and two-door coupes. So in this case, they want us to start naming some variables. That's the algebra part here. So I'm going to go S is my sedans. And C is going to be my coupes. So I'm just simply, I know there's four-door sedans. I know there's two-door coupes. So here's my S and my C. If I add these two together, S plus C, I know how many he serviced for the whole week. It was 23. So I already know that. And what I want to do, I'm going to use this equation. In the next one, we're actually going to write two equations in this one. And we're going to substitute one into the other. So what I want it to equal either S or C. It really doesn't matter which one. I need to know both of them. So we want it to just equal one. And I'm just going to go ahead and let it equal S. So I'm going to take this C and I'm going to subtract it to the other side. 23 minus C. So this equation we're going to need to use in just a moment. We're going to substitute it in. So this is my equation for my total number of cars serviced. So a lot of the time when you're writing two equations, it's going to be the total number, and then you're also going to have a cost equation. So my cost equation has to do with these $188.99 times the number of cars. So for every car, every sedan that he puts the film on, he gets $189.99 plus $159.99 for every coupe that he services. And we know his total was $4,189.77. So now what we want to do is we want to substitute in this piece that we did over here. That's why we made it equal either S or C. Like I said, it didn't matter really which one I picked because I'm going to substitute it in. And what that does, instead of writing S here, is now it gives me an equation where I only have one variable. That's what we wanted. Because you can't solve with two variables. So this one had an S and a C in it. This one also has an S and a C. I don't know either one. I need it down to the point where it only has one variable. So by substituting this piece in, instead of writing S, I know S equals 23 minus C, right? However many coupes he serviced, subtracted from the total number, is the number of sedans he serviced. So I can substitute this in for S. And now I have C and C. I can solve this thing. So I have, let's see, let me do this in pieces. So I'm going to multiply 189.99 times 23. I'm going to distribute, because there's the parentheses outside and I need to distribute this. So I end up with 4,369.77 minus 189.99 times negative C. So 99 just kind of gets sandwiched in there like that. Plus, and I'm just going to write the rest of this out so we can see it. I'm not changing this part of the equation. I'm just rewriting it. 4,897. Okay, I can combine some like terms here. And we get 4,369.77 plus, oh, no, I'm fibbing to you, minus, and this is going to be 30. When I subtract 189.99 from 159.99, there's a $30 difference between the two services here. So I end up with negative 30 equals 4,189.77. So now I'm going to subtract this onto the other side here. Because I'm trying to get C by itself. That's kind of the main thing here. So 369.77. And draw a line. So my negative 30 comes down. These cancel because they're the same number subtracted from each other. and we get negative 180 on this side. So all of a sudden our numbers are getting much smaller, right? And I know this is kind of getting scrunched here at the bottom. I need to divide by this negative 30 because that's the last thing by the C there. So we're going to divide by negative 30 on both sides. And we get C equals 6. So he serviced 6 coops. So we have our C. Now, don't forget they wanted 2 answers. They wanted coupes and sedans. So I need to come back over here. I know there was 23 total. So 23 minus 6 will give us our S. 23 minus 6 equals 17. So definitely more involved on that one. Sorry, I know I went through that one really fast. But they're just asking you to apply the pieces that you've learned about how to calculate the piecework. All right, well, I hope that helped, and I will see you on the next one.